Behind every thriving community is someone who showed up when it mattered most. One longtime board member was awarded the Heart of the Community Award at the Parkersburg YMCA's annual fundraiser dinner. Our Cassidy Fury is live in the studio to tell us more about the evening. What can you tell us, Cassidy?
Thanks for having me, Phyllis. The Heart of the Community Award was given to a man many of you may know from youth athletics or his contributions to local nonprofits. Charlie Burd once served as the president of the Wood County Development Authority and has given much of his time to volunteering. The event was hosted at the Grand Point Conference Center in Vienna and was truly a community outpour of appreciation for his efforts and dedication to his community.
This is Home, sponsored by A1 Heating and Cooling and TB Dentistry.
Every year, the Parkersburg YMCA has held their Heart of the Community fundraiser dinner. CEO of the Parkersburg YMCA, Benton Walker, said the dinner helps fund their projects and scholarships for the year.
12 years ago, they decided to highlight community members who are doing philanthropic work in the community and just highlight some of their good works they've been doing over the years.
This year's recipient of the award is Charlie Burd. Becky McInnes, president of the WVUP Foundation, won the award 2 years ago.
It really represents work in the community, and Charlie and I both believe in community service, and I've known him for many years in Charleston when he was a lobbyist and working with the oil and gas, and he's a kind, just giving person.
Burd was active for 23 years, volunteering his time with youth athletics in the area, and also served on the YMCA and Boys and Girls Club boards of directors.
Anything the Y needed, he was a part of. You know, he's on our fundraising committee. You know, he helped us connect with outside entities. So he's done a lot of work for the Y over the last 10, 15 plus years.
Bird's son, Nathan Burd, has also been involved with the YMCA and supportive of his father's good works.
I mean, it means the world. I couldn't be more proud of him. Such a dedicated, humble, committed guy. I mean, drives to Charleston every day, to and from. I mean, as long as I can remember, 20-some plus years, basically my whole life. You know, seeing the amount of work that he's put into his community, his work, it's just truly admirable, and I couldn't be more happy for him.
Bird's dedication to his community is evident through the testimonies of those who have worked with him.
The type of guy that he's been for our community, that makes him more than deserving of this award.
Burd said he was amazed and grateful to be selected as this year's Heart of the Community Award recipient.
It's important to give back to the community because the community is really, your family and your community is what you have. It is what surrounds you. It is what makes you who you are. And to be able to give and help others is really what it's all about. My father had a saying, it's nice to be important, it's more important to be nice.
The evening also featured a silent auction to help raise funds for the YMCA.
I would say to anyone out there listening to this, give of yourself. The reward is greater than you can possibly imagine.
Walker said this event supports their core mission by allowing them to get involved with youth development, healthy living within the community, and social engagement. Reporting from Parkersburg, WTAP News, I'm Cassidy Fury, and this is Home.
Seeing the community engagement and so many people from various nonprofit organizations truly solidified the unity and compassion that is alive and well in the Mid-Ohio Valley. Thank you, Phyllis. Back to you.